If you're over 60, there's one everyday drink, something you may have had just last night, that could silently raise your risk of stroke while you sleep. No pain, no warning, no second chance. One moment, you're reading the paper. The next, your hand won't move. Your words slur. You wake up confused, helpless, unable to call for help. Most people never suspect it, because it's not junk food. It's not cigarettes, it's a glass of juice, a flavored water, a warm drink you've trusted for years. I've met hundreds of seniors who say, "Doctor, I eat well, I stay active, I take my meds." And yet I've seen far too many of them wake up in a hospital bed, unable to speak or walk, after doing something they believed was helping their health. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here because after 20 years of treating strokes and brain injuries, I've discovered one silent pattern that no one is talking about, because no one is looking where it starts, in the cup beside your bed. Some of the most common drinks sold in every grocery aisle and labeled as natural, immune-boosting, or heart-healthy were never tested for aging bodies. But your body today isn't the same as it was at 40. Your blood is thicker, your vessels are stiffer, your detox system's slower, your brain more fragile to sugar and pressure spikes. And that's the perfect storm. What you sip before bed can shape how your brain wakes up. This might be the most important health message you hear all year, because what you don't know about your favorite drink could cost you your memory, your independence, even your life. Let's begin. It's not just your joints that stiffen with age. Your entire internal environment shifts, subtly, slowly, but profoundly. After 60, your blood vessels behave differently. Imagine a garden hose that's been left out in the sun for decades. The rubber becomes brittle, less flexible, more prone to cracks. That's what happens to your arteries and veins. They lose their bounce, their ability to expand and contract smoothly. Now, pour in a liquid that spikes your blood pressure, like caffeine or sugar, and those vessels experience turbulence. That turbulence increases shear stress inside your arteries, making it easier for clots to form and harder for your brain to handle the sudden shifts. And it doesn't stop there. Your liver and kidneys, your natural filtration systems, start slowing down. The enzymes that once cleared out alcohol, preservatives, or synthetic vitamins by dinner time now struggle. That means substances from your nightly drink can linger in your bloodstream all night, irritating your brain, stiffening your vessels, and triggering inflammation while you sleep. And your blood? It thickens. Not just from dehydration, but due to rising clotting factors, chronic inflammation, and slower circulation. Thick blood in narrow, aging vessels is a recipe for silent microstrokes, especially in the early morning when blood pressure naturally spikes and brain perfusion dips. Your sleep becomes lighter, fragmented, and that matters deeply because it's during deep sleep that your brain drains waste, rebalances blood flow, and heals. Interrupting this process, even with something as innocent as juice or wine, can reduce your brain's ability to repair itself night after night. But beneath all these changes lies something deeper. Metabolic slowdown, chronic low-grade inflammation, and the quiet breakdown of your body's natural repair systems. The protective lining inside your blood vessels, called the endothelium, becomes thinner, more vulnerable. Think of it as your body's anti-clot armor. When it weakens, even small dietary stressors can trigger damage. And let's not forget the gut. Decades of antibiotics, sugar, and processed food disrupt your gut microbiome, an imbalance that silently affects inflammation, nutrient absorption, and yes, even your brain's vascular health. That's why the same drink you tolerated at 40 can now quietly threaten your brain at 70. This isn't fear, it's biology. And once you understand it, you gain the power to protect your future with every sip. Now that you understand how aging transforms your internal biology, it's time to turn to something even more familiar, your fridge. Because the danger we're talking about isn't exotic. It doesn't come with a skull label or warning sign. It comes with a smile, a health claim, a promise, immune support, natural energy, decaf for gentle nights. But here's the truth. Those labels were designed for marketing, not for metabolism, and certainly not for a metabolism over 60. These drinks were formulated for younger bodies with flexible blood vessels, quick detox cycles, and strong neurological resilience. When those same drinks are introduced into an aging system, where vessels are stiff, filtration is slower, and inflammation is already simmering, the result isn't energy or immunity. It's risk. Cumulative, silent, deadly. Let's walk through 5 of the most deceptively harmless drinks hiding in plain sight. Drinks you may be sipping daily, each with the potential to increase your stroke risk. I'll show you why, how, and what real seniors experienced when those risks became reality. 1. Energy drinks and vitamin waters. You thought this healthy hydration was boosting your immune system. Turns out it was hijacking your blood vessels while you slept. They're everywhere, marketed as revitalizing, refreshing, even doctor-approved. But energy drinks and vitamin waters are vascular landmines for the aging body. These beverages often combine niacin, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, caffeine, and artificial sweeteners in a healthy cocktail. In younger people, this formula might offer a harmless energy spike. But in seniors, this same mix can quietly destabilize blood pressure, interfere with brain circulation, and disrupt critical sleep cycles. Why? Because aging bodies handle nutrients differently. Niacin triggers vasodilation, an expansion of blood vessels. But what happens next is the real danger: rebound vasoconstriction. Fragile, stiff vessels can't adapt well to these fluctuations. That means one moment, blood pressure drops. The next, it surges, and your brain pays the price. B6 in high doses can irritate nerves and sensitize the brain. Combine that with even trace caffeine, and you risk disrupting deep sleep, the very phase when your brain detoxes and repairs. And remember, these drinks often use flashy claims, immune boost, hydration formula, without mentioning that they were never tested on aging physiology. Mr. Leonard, 72, was a retired teacher, never smoked, stayed active, no chronic disease. He believed in prevention. Every evening he drank a vitamin water labeled Immunity Defense. One night, he felt dizzy getting up from bed. By morning, he couldn't lift his left arm. A mild stroke. His labs revealed spiking niacin levels, elevated nighttime blood pressure, and interrupted REM sleep patterns on his monitor. He thought he was nourishing his body. But what he was really doing, night after night, was priming his brain for crisis. That bottle wasn't saving him. It was silently rewiring his risk. 2. Bottled juices. It looks like health. It tastes like childhood. But for your aging brain, this natural drink could be the night's quietest threat. You might be doing this every night without knowing, and your brain pays the price while you sleep. A glass of juice before bed feels innocent, comforting. It reminds you of childhood breakfasts and summer picnics. It says 100% pure, no added sugar, from real fruit. But here's what that label doesn't say. One 12-ounce glass contains 35 to 45 grams of sugar. That's more than most colas. For someone over 60, that sugar isn't just empty calories. It becomes a biochemical weapon. Let me explain. When sugar floods your bloodstream without the buffer of fruit fiber, it causes a rapid spike in blood glucose. This triggers insulin, but in aging bodies, insulin sensitivity is reduced. That means the sugar lingers, sticking to proteins in your blood in a process called glycation. Glycation thickens your blood and promotes microvascular inflammation, especially in tiny brain vessels already narrowed by age. This makes your blood more viscous, prone to forming microclots, tiny, silent obstructions that can disrupt circulation to key areas of your brain. Add in slower nighttime heart rate and naturally reduced circulation, and it's a setup for overnight stroke risk. And this isn't just theory. Mrs. Eleanor, 82, was the kind of woman who avoided soda, skipped dessert, and believed in natural choices. Every night, she'd settle in with the news and a tall glass of white grape juice. No medication changes, no stress. But one morning, she woke up and couldn't speak. A mild stroke had robbed her of language. When we traced her case, her overnight glucose had spiked higher than expected. Her blood had thickened, clotting in a fragile brain vessel. The only trigger? That one innocent glass of juice. It wasn't the sweetness that betrayed her. It was the mismatch between tradition and biology. Her habits were healthy for a younger version of herself, but her aging brain needed something wiser. 3. Flavored milk. What once helped you fall asleep might now be building pressure inside your brain. A warm glass of milk before bed. It's comforting, familiar, almost sacred. Passed down from parent to child as a symbol of calm. But today's milk isn't the same, especially flavored milk. chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, which is often loaded with added sugar, synthetic vitamins, and chemical stabilizers designed for shelf life, not for the aging brain. One hidden threat comes from fortified vitamin A, often added at levels of 8,000 to 10,000 IU per serving. That might seem like a bonus, but vitamin A is fat-soluble, which means it doesn't flush out in your urine like vitamin C. It stores in your liver, brain tissue, and optic nerves, especially in older adults where detox pathways are already slowing down. Over time, this buildup can lead to a subtle but serious condition: elevated intracranial pressure, pressure inside your skull. It mimics a brain tumor. The symptoms: blurred vision, morning headaches, nausea, disorientation, and in some cases, stroke-like attacks. And the trigger isn't poison. It's the accumulation of something your body can no longer regulate efficiently. That was the case with Mrs. Carroll, 79, a widow who never missed her evening ritual, a tall glass of chocolate milk. She believed it helped her sleep. But then came the blurry mornings, the dizziness, the dull ache behind her eyes. One scan revealed it all: pseudotumor cerebri, brain pressure mimicking a tumor. No brain mass, no trauma, just a toxic buildup of vitamin A her aging liver couldn't process fast enough. That bedtime comfort she trusted for years had slowly become her neurological burden. And here's the deeper truth. The aging gut and weakened detox systems mean even small doses of synthetic additives can accumulate, disrupt fluid balance, and apply pressure, literally, on the brain. So before you reach for that flavored milk, ask, is this calming my nerves or quietly compressing them from the inside out? 4. Red wine. It may relax your heart, but quietly destabilize your brain. You've heard it 1,000 times. A glass of red wine a day is good for your heart. But what they don't say is what it might do to your brain, especially after 60. Red wine contains polyphenols that cause initial vasodilation, a temporary widening of blood vessels. That sounds healthy until your body rebounds, tightening those same vessels sharply. For a young circulatory system, it's a minor swing. But for an aging brain, where arteries are stiff, plaque is present, and regulation is weaker, that swing can spike blood pressure and reduce oxygen flow in seconds. Then comes the second layer. Alcohol thins the blood. In someone taking statins, aspirin, or blood pressure meds, that thinning combines with fragile vessels, creating a dangerous edge between bleeding and clotting. Your system becomes a tightrope, and red wine is the wobble that tips it. That's what happened to Mr. Ernest, 83. A retired train conductor, sharp-minded, mobile, active. His nightly habit? A single glass of Merlot with his crossword puzzle. One morning, he couldn't hold his pen. He had suffered a minor ischemic stroke, triggered by overnight blood pressure instability and a subtle alcohol interaction. His lifestyle was clean, his labs stable, but his aging vascular system couldn't handle the same glass of wine it once embraced. For many seniors, what starts as a gentle unwind may quietly undo the balance your brain depends on. So before that next pour, ask, is this glass honoring your health or gambling with it? 5. Decaf coffee. Think your morning decaf is safe? Your aging brain might disagree. Switching to decaf feels like the smart, healthy compromise. You still get the warmth, the ritual, the comfort without the jitters. But here's the catch. Decaf isn't caffeine-free. Most decaf coffees in the US still contain up to 15 milligrams of caffeine per cup. That's low for a 30-year-old. But in a 70 or 80-year-old with fragile vessels, early-stage hypertension, or slowed circulation, even trace caffeine can constrict brain vessels, especially in the early morning hours when blood pressure naturally surges. And there's more. Many decaf beans are processed using solvents like methylene chloride, a neurotoxic chemical that, even in small amounts, accumulates over time. In aging brains already more vulnerable due to oxidative stress and weakened detox pathways, this slow buildup becomes a hidden risk. Just ask Mr. Donald, 83, a retired postmaster. He gave up regular coffee years ago, proud of his healthy switch. But each day at 5:30 a.m., like clockwork, he brewed his pot of decaf. Weeks turned into years. Until one morning, his legs gave out. A lacunar stroke had quietly formed in his brainstem, linked to early morning pressure spikes and cumulative solvent exposure. No sugar, no alcohol, no smoking, just a cup of safe decaf, sipped in innocence. For older adults, the danger isn't always in the dose. It's in the daily drip of unnoticed stressors, piling up over time. So tomorrow morning, before that first sip, pause and ask, is this really serving my brain or just soothing my habits? Let's rebuild your evening routine, one sip at a time, with drinks that nourish rather than harm. Now that we've cleared the minefield, it's time to build a safer path forward. Because prevention isn't about avoiding everything. It's about consistently choosing what your aging brain truly needs, especially in the quiet hours before sleep, when circulation slows, detox peaks, and repair begins. Let's start with a simple but underrated ally. Warm water with lemon or cucumber. This isn't just about hydration. It gently flushes toxins, supports your liver's phase 1 and 2 detox functions, and keeps your blood fluid without overloading it with sugar, caffeine, or additives. At night, swap out the wine or decaf for herbal teas like chamomile, lemon balm, or passion flower. These herbs calm the vagus nerve, relax constricted vessels, and promote deeper slow-wave sleep, the phase where your brain cleanses house and resets pressure. Think of them as your brain's nighttime custodians. Need something richer? Try golden milk, a blend of turmeric, unsweetened almond or oat milk, a dash of black pepper. Turmeric's curcumin reduces neuroinflammation and improves endothelial function, nourishing your vessel lining, not damaging it like synthetic vitamins or sugars. Craving something fruity? Tart cherry juice, just 2 to 4 ounces, supports melatonin production, balances circadian rhythm, and improves cerebral blood flow. Skip the sugary grape juice. This is the smarter, brain-loving red. And on nights when digestion feels sluggish or your body craves warmth, warm herbal broth with ginger, garlic, and leafy greens. This isn't just comfort, it's cellular support. These ingredients aid liver detox, improve bile flow, and supply minerals your blood and brain need for overnight balance. These aren't miracle cures. They're metabolic whispers, small, consistent choices that align with what your body actually needs after 60. When you replace harm with healing, even in something as small as your evening drink, you don't just sleep better. You age better, you think better, you wake up more you. Because aging well isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the stage you're in, with smarter habits, deeper care, and quieter power. Let's toast to that. What you sip today shapes how you'll think, feel, and function tomorrow. Let's pause, not just to absorb facts, but to reflect. Behind every glass you pour is a habit, and behind every habit is either protection or slow decline. For decades, your drink choices may have been guided by routine: coffee in the morning, juice with breakfast, wine at dinner, warm milk before bed. They felt comforting, familiar, but your body isn't the same as it was at 40 or even 50. After 60, your brain becomes more sensitive to pressure shifts, sugar spikes, and inflammatory triggers. Your blood thickens, your vessels stiffen, your detox pathways slow. This means the very drinks that once soothed you might now be silently working against your clarity, balance, and resilience. But this isn't a message of fear. It's one of power. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're simply in a new stage that requires a wiser approach. And the truth is, the smallest shifts often make the greatest difference. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just start with one drink, one swap, one new understanding of what your body needs today. Because longevity isn't built on restriction. It's built on what you consistently choose to nourish and protect your brain. This is your moment to realign your habits with your biology. To choose drinks that serve your future, not just your taste. To rewrite not just how you age, but how you feel while doing it. Not just for yourself, but for those who love and depend on you. For the life still waiting to be fully lived, with presence, clarity, and peace of mind. Let this be the chapter where you turn awareness into action and protect the years and memories you've worked so hard to build. If this message made you pause, reflect, or rethink your next sip, drop a 1 in the comments. If you'd like to see a part 2, or if you have questions about other drink habits, type 2. Because this isn't just a video, it's a conversation among people who care about clarity, cognition, and quality of life after 60. We don't share knowledge to scare you, but to enlighten you. Not to pressure you, but to empower your choices. And if this helped you, please share it with your parents, friends, or anyone you care about. They deserve to understand their bodies better too. You don't need expensive pills or complicated diets. You need clarity, a trustworthy community, and consistent, gentle choices. starting with something as simple as what you drink at night. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you'd like to keep walking this path with us. A channel built with the heart of a doctor and the love of a child who wants their parents to live longer and healthier. We are not alone in this. And sometimes, the smallest changes, a glass of water, a shift in routine, a reminder at the right moment, can make the biggest difference for the years still to come.